Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit that subscribe button if you're new so you don't miss any of our great football content this season. It wasn't a very fun game to watch. San Francisco, the Niners beat Arizona 16-15. Nick Bosa got banged up. Arizona, for a long spell, dominated time of possession. It's one of those games where, I don't have a strong take because Mac Jones played. You're very limited what you can do with Mac Jones. I mean, again, when he is stationary and has time to throw, he can be really good. Today there's limitations on what you can do. Of course, there was that safety which gave, in the end zone where, Arizona I thought was going to pull this thing out. I don't know what it is exactly with the injuries with San Francisco. It's a perpetual issue. I don't know, and again, I think they've missed on enough draft picks. I think they've gotten old. And one of my predictions was this year is I like San Francisco, but two things can be true. They're old, brittle, and expensive at key spots. They're already banged up. I mean, what do you think they look like? I mean, the win today, but what do you think they look like in 6 to 8 weeks?
I would say this, they've hit on some young players. Ricky Pearsall today was a man amongst boys. Like Ricky Pearsall, like Marvin Harrison so far is a whiff. Like if they get a redo, they would go Malik Neighbors over Marvin Harrison. Ricky Pearsall in like a 3-game stretch looks like a number 1 wide receiver. Mykel Williams, the dude they drafted from Georgia, was making big time plays. D. Winters, who replaced Dre Greenlaw, looks like he's going hand in hand right there with Fred flying around hitting people. So they've hit on some young guys. The problem is Kittle's missing, Purdy's been out. Now, granted, Mac Jones, you win 2 games as a backup quarterback. I've said this last week. You win 1 game, you earn your salary. You win 2, you're underpaid. Mac Jones immediately, 2 games, win, led him on a game-winning drive. He's underpaid, but he's already banged up, limping around. Bosa, in like the first couple drives, hurts his knee, out for the game. I saw that they are going to get tested tomorrow. They don't believe it to be an ACL. That would be devastating. Trent's looked old. He is old. I mean, Kittle's been missing. So, they're pretty dependent on their high-end guys if they're going to compete at the highest level with the Eagles, with the Rams, with any team in the AFC. But for the most part, they don't play any of these teams. Besides the Rams, they play a lot of bad teams on their schedule. So this is why I picked them to make the playoffs. Now, can they go far in the playoffs? Not if they're not healthy. But they can have a successful season. And today, coaching, Robert Saleh's been incredible for them through 3 games. Their defense is flying around.
Yeah, and last year, it was funny. If Bosa got banged up last year, it felt like a major personnel issue, and yet this year it doesn't. So it's just like Jim Harbaugh. Last year, you're like, oh, outside of Derwin James, Khalil Mack, Chargers just don't have enough dudes. Well, why are they all great now? Like so much of it's coaching in this league, and I do think we're seeing a slight pivot back to the respectability of defensive coaches. Saleh, Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter, Brian Flores. Like I think you and I have talked a lot this year about some great defensive coaches. I mean, Todd Bowles deserves credit. The Jets were inept. They scored 3 touchdowns in 11 minutes. That game was awful. And then Baker. But I mean, Todd Bowles deserves credit. Like there's no ego, very chill. But you know what I think is really interesting? If I ran the Dolphins, I would get out from under Chris Grier, the GM, and I would get out from under Tua's contract. I'd do what I had to do. If I had to cut him, if I had to trade him, I would. I never quite know what to do with Kyler Murray because unlike Tua, he's actually very elusive and highly athletic. I think he has a better arm, although it's not a great arm. I think there are times he just can't see downfield. I don't know what you do with Kyler Murray. What do you do?
Yeah, I think you're kind of stuck. I actually thought he played pretty decent today. I mean, he just makes so many plays with his legs. But he
made a ton today.
There's just a ceiling with him. Like he's never like Jalen can drive you nuts, but he makes enough throws if AJ and Devontae are rolling from the pocket outside the numbers. Kyler's very hit or miss that way. Most of his explosive plays, it feels like as a thrower, come from on the move, which of course he's probably one of, if not the best athletes in the entire league. Like if you told me Kyler just like quit quarterback tomorrow and learned how to play corner, I'd be like, I bet he could be a really good nickel corner. I mean, how many guys could, like Mac Jones couldn't start on defense for a high school team. So right. I think that I think the Cardinals are pretty well coached. They're tough. I thought he just got limitations. But what do you do? I had this thought watching the Thursday night game with Tua. Is I think it's so easy, and we saw all these backup quarterbacks. It's been like this forever with Dak and the Purdys and the Cousins. I think it's easy to say, hey, for that second tier of guys. Of course, if you got the elite guy, you just ride him till the wheels fall off for 15 years. But if you got that next tier of guys where it's like, could we do better than Brock Purdy? Could we do better than Dak? Sure, you probably could if you can find Justin Herbert somewhere. Because all I heard all offseason, I was probably guilty of this too, is like, oh, look at these quarterbacks in college. I've been flipping around the last couple of weeks, and I'm not seeing it, Colin. So because unlike, and I say this all the time, like basketball, for example, when you see these guys coming out of high school, they are going to be a lock top 10 pick, right? As long as they're healthy. When you start hearing about Gilbert Arenas' son or Marcus Spears' son or whoever, these guys, whether maybe they have incredible college years and go number 1 overall, but worst case scenario, it could go shitty, Ron Harper's kid, and go 2 or 3, right? But in football, hype doesn't mean anything once you start playing the games. All I heard, DJ Lagway stinks. Yeah. Arch Manning, maybe he's injured or whatever, but no one could draft him in the first round right now. Nobody.
Well, I'm not sure he's a draftable period right now.
Well, no, he's not. But you just go around the country, all these guys that you hear, and then there'll be a couple that kind of come out of nowhere. But it's hard to replace Tua, let alone Kyler Murray. Like, who are you replacing them with? You don't have any options. So I've actually kind of come around of like, I get it. Now, I wouldn't want to be in position to pay him, but like I do, and I think they're always paid too much. It's like, who are you negotiating against for Tua? You couldn't offer him 3 years, $100 million. He's going to say no.
No, I hated the day they signed him. I said, you're going to regret this. This is a bad contract.
Same thing with Kyler Murray. It's like, remember when they rushed into it after 3 years? Like, why are we doing this? Like, how is the agent taking you guys to school? But I do understand just writing it out for a couple of years because who do you have to replace him? Now, I do think you get to a point where you get in a situation like Anthony Richardson, you're like, this is not, we can't play like this, right? But when you get Kyler Murray, who could they find available that could come in and beat Kyler Murray out? Even Sam Darnold. Let's say, now he got $50 million, but let's just say in a world a year or two ago, they could have got him for $10 million. Are we sure Sam Darnold in a training camp situation where Kyler already knows the offense could beat him out? No, there's not, especially if it's just like truly an open competition. There's no guarantee. And you're like, why are we going to waste $10 million on a competition with someone that probably won't beat him out when we could use those resources other places? I think you could find yourself in a bad spot because the reality is there are 5-6 guys max who can play this position at the highest level. I thought C.J. Stroud was one of those guys. I watch him now. I'm like, is he a top 15 quarterback the way he's playing?
No, I mean, he has regressed. I mean, it is bad.
I want to Kyler, for example, is way better than him right now. I would take Kyler in a heartbeat over C.J. Stroud. But that's
no question.
So it shows you like that guy 6 to like probably 15 at the lowest. They're so predicated on who they're playing with, who's coaching them, the scheme that they're running, who they're playing. Like they are very fickle. Like you watch Brock Purdy for a stretch, you're like, God, this guy's playing at an elite level. And then you watch him on his bad games. Their floor is a lot lower. Like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, their floor is pretty freaking high. Herbert now, his floor is pretty freaking high. Bo Nix, his floor is low. You watch him on his off days, you're like, whoa. Even Cam Ward, I'm rooting for the guy, but I'm watching him like, oh, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah.